Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the season finale. Homestead, Miami Speedway. The 36th and final stop on the season. It's the Ford EcoBoost 400 Championship. Decided here today at the mile-and-a-half racetrack. And let's get the starting lineup on for race today's event. Stephanie Naylor has the pole for today's race of course at 26 Quaker State Buick. She won at Michigan this season in the second Michigan race, the Pure Michigan 400. Alongside of her, the second Martinsville winner, Ian Dutta. Joshua Osborne has the number 2 starting position, or has the 3 starting position, I should say, in the Bullseye Barbecue Sauce 19. And the number 43, Mike Becker, Richard Petticoat, the STP Pontiac. Ann Batson as the inside of row number 3 in the number 3 GM Goodwrench Chevrolet, and Michael Norman in number 94 Sunoco Ultra Oldsmobile. Jordan Newman is the inside of row number 4 in the number 29 Hardee's Pontiac, and beside him is Sean Gallagher in car 17. I think he's still in the championship, honey. He's 97 back of the leader. He starts in 8th position. Cole Daly is the inside of row number 4, and for row number 5, the DuPont Chevrolet car 24. It's been a miserable year for Cole Daly this season. He'd like to salvage it up with a win here today at Homestead. And alongside of him, Dalton Day, the winner of the first Michigan event, the Miller Lite 400. He's on the outside of row number 5. Row 6 has P.J. Williams in car 15, the Motorcraft Quality Parts Ford Thunderbird. It'll be a new paint scheme next season. It'll be an all-red car next season. And Jeremy Doobie, the number 12, Ray Best's Buick, car number for Bobby Allison Motorsports. Here comes the command to fire him up here over the season finale at Homestead.
Drivers, start your engine!
Command giving the fire the engines as we get set for 27 laps left on the season here at Homestead. Starting in row 7 is car number 7, Kyle Sosnowski. He'd like to get a win this season as well. And Dylan Young, the winner of the second Richmond event, the number 2 Miller Genuine Draft Ford. Or Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac, rather. Trent Dunham, the winner at Kansas this season, has the inside of number 8, and alongside Zachary Fitzwater, Daytona 500 champ. And then it's Austin Telly and Brody Telly, the Telly brothers, in row number 9. And whereas the leader, Jessica Shelton, in the points chase, she is starting in 21st. If Preston Plord leads the most laps and wins the race here today, Shelton will have to finish 22nd or better to win the championship. Green flag waves and we're underway. The season finale at Homestead is on. This is the new 2013 version of this racetrack, so we'll see what happens here in these final 27 laps. This will be a different racing like than what you saw the last few seasons at Homestead. If one consolation over Shelton, she starts ahead of Preston Plord, though. So not sure what the scenarios are, though. Michael Norman inside of Joshua Osborne. Who leads this lap? Osborne, first lap led at Homestead. Osborne comes in his race 15th in standings coming in. He'd like to move himself up a couple of notches in the points hunt. Though the Season 2 champ is out of contention for a championship. And by the way, if Shelton does win the championship, she'll be the first to win 2 championships in the series ever. Cole Daly inside of Ann Batson. Batson led the lap. Look at Daly. He's making a run for it. Now here comes Mike Becker. And now Trent Dunham. Car number 1, the Skull Classic Ford. Trent winner at Kansas this season. He almost took Martinsville as well, the second Martinsville event. Only the guy behind him, Ian Dutta, denied him of that. And TD, Trent Dunham, Mr. Sega, leads this lap. Been a good comeback season for Sega Motorsports this season. I have to say that too. The number 1 Skull Classic Ford. The number 1, of course, meaning Trent's a big Jamie McMurray fan. In addition to a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan as well, no doubt. But here comes the big fan of mayonnaise, Charles Jackson. Number 5, Levi Garrett Chevrolet. Inside for the lead. He does not get it. Austin Talley had the lead. We all remember the controversy Austin Talley caused at Martinsville, where he kept spinning everybody out. of the race. And nobody was even pleased with him the whole race, I might add too, but just pretty much don't know. Grant Thomas leads the lap. Jessica Shelton almost got her lap led, but Thomas edged her out. Now here comes Seth Cole, car number 52, along with his buddy Joshua Collard in number 4. Joshua Collard at number 4, Kodak Film Chevrolet with his buddy Dylan Young right behind. Young, the winner at Richmond this season. Collard would like to get a win Collard would like to get a win to close out his season. He led that lap. Last lap 189. Last lap by Collard 188.6. We saw a few 189 mile an hour laps. Just about flirting with the 190 mark. We did see 190 on this track last season with the 2009 configuration. But look at Preston Plord. He'd like to get those 5 bonus points for the lap. But remember, Plord is 90 back in second place. But he is, however, in hot contention for Rookie of the Year. And remember, he's a rookie in the series. And if he stays that way, he'll be the highest finishing rookie. Therefore, giving him Rookie of the Year for season 12. And boo, that was close between Galligan and Fitzwater. Henrietta Fitzwater, that is. And Galligan led the lap by just an eyelash over Henrietta Fitzwater. And there comes the winner of the inaugural Pensacola event, Kyle Matthews. And oh, problems in the backstretch! Dalton Day's crashed. Oh, here we go. Who's going to be involved? Sean Galligan's crashed. Stephanie Nauer's crashed. Dalton Day's crashed. Chris Thornton. Ian Dutta's in it. And Kev Shearer hits Ian Dutta. PJ Williams is in it. Brody Talley, I think, is in it. So one of the 4 guys in the championship hunt, Sean Galligan, Mr. Lucky as it were. Not so lucky this time at Homestead. I think I shouldn't have named him Mr. Lucky just a bit too soon. Forward chase me. This could tell the story. And boy, no, helicopter view should be the right view. Look at this. 5 wide, and you can't do that at Homestead. 5 wide. Joshua Balkin, Kyle Sosnowski, Dalton Day, Sean Galligan, and Preston Plord. Balkin hits Sosnowski, sends him in the Dalton Day, and it sends Dalton in the Galligan. And Sosnowski almost comes back and hits Charlie Rodriguez in the 75. And then Dalton just comes, and Galligan, he just shoves Dalton Day, and Dylan Young almost hits him. And there's Stephanie Miller, she hits Dalton Day. And then Trent Dunham, he almost sends Zachary Fitzwater into a spin. Fitzwater saves it. Here comes Shelton. Ooh, missed him. And so did Poteet, so did Osborne, so did Jordan Newman. But those drivers do continue on. Dalton Day and Jordan Newman and Sean Galligan, they do continue on in this race. Mike Becker, by the way, does have the lead at this moment. Pace car sights are off here. Dalton and Mike Becker, the number 43, Richard Petty, STP Pontiac. 2 wins this season that came with the Aaron's 499 at Talladega, and he also won the first Dover event. And a good season somewhat for Becker. He won 1 more race than he did last season. Joshua Balkins in 2nd position. 3rd is Kyle Matthews. 4th position is Henrietta Fitzwater. Matthews, by the way, he's in 6th in standings. And if he stays ahead of Trent Dunham like he is right now, he will take fifth. He will take fifth place in the points. He is about almost 30 points back of Dunham for fifth spot. 13 laps in the books and 14 remaining, halfway through the Ford EcoBoost 400. Last season, the Ford one with Levi McIntyre. And the leading Ford right now is in 6th position with Kyle Sosnowski, or make that 5th position with Kyle Sosnowski. But now drops to 6th position as we now have 4 Pontiacs and an Oldsmobile in the top 5. Pontiac consuming 10 cars in the field this season in the series. Joshua Balkin now has the lead. Now here comes Henry out of Fitzwater to win it at the second Talladega event, along with the California event, and that tremendous finish in that event. Balkin looking pretty strong right now. Halfway home in this event. 15 laps in the books, 12 to go. Left on the season. We just saw the first 190 mile an hour lap here by Arnold Columbia, car 27. 191.293 miles an hour. And Joshua Collard also hit 190 with a 190.7. Just depends on how fast you go in the draft, as Collard now hooks up with his buddy Dylan Young. We said Collard's been winless this season. He'd like to get a win to close out the season. And boy, you can tell Collard's proving it right now, along with Seth Cole in the 52. Seth looking pretty strong himself in the Alka-Seltzer Pontiac. Johnny Gardner right up there in that 11 car. And Johnny Gardner, another one who's top 10 in the points going in this race. Gardner, I think, is 7th place in the standings coming in. So he's having a solid year himself. He won a race at Rockingham way back in the second race of the year. No, boy, 4 wide. This is not looking good. Ooh, Brian Judge, he got close. And Ian Dutta, is he holding him up? It's Ian Dutta, 36th place car. He's holding everybody up. That's letting the front bunch break away. And in the middle of all that, who's taking the lead now? And the leader is now Johnny Gardner, but here comes Brian Judge in car number 71. And he'll take the lead. Brian Judge won the first Atlanta event this season. He's been skunked ever since, but Brian Judge has been having an impressive rookie year himself. And we've had an impressive bunch of rookies this season, I might add, too. And this rookie class has been nothing to sneeze at this season. And especially not with one Preston Plord, who comes in this event second in points. But Brian Judge has had some good runs himself. He right now comes into this race. I think he's been on a slide just a little bit points-wise. He's, I think, 14th, or he's just a little bit out of the top 10 in points coming into Homestead. But with a 71 car, we'll still have Lifeboy as a sponsor next season for season 13. A lot of sponsor changes this season. The only 2 sponsored car we'll have is the Miller Genuine Draft. He'll fill 2 cars, but different teams. One for Penske and one for Blue Max Racing. The 2 and the 27, both Pontiacs, but different teams. Michael Norman, now in the lead. And we've talked about no winners looking for their first wins. Michael Norman's one of them. But a lap car ahead in the form of Chris Dollerton. Joshua Balkin up there. Seth Cole, Dylan Poteet. Poteet having a great run this season. He comes in this race I think third in standings coming in. He'll keep the 31 next season, I believe, too. But Poteet's one of the very few drivers who's been in every season in this series. And I think the only one who's been in every season in this series, I think, too. 3 laps to go in the season. And oh no. Charles Jackson got loose there and almost caused a big crash here. Joshua Balkin on the inside. And here comes Seth Cole, car 52. Chris Thornton up ahead, and as well as Ian Dutta. Here comes Cole to the inside. And everybody gets hooked up, and oh, everybody slows up behind Ian Dutta. And that's going to let Seth Cole just flat pull away. But Dylan Poteet giving Seth a run now. The white flag waves on the season. 1 lap remaining here at Homestead. Seth Cole looking for his first win of the season. Poteet's in second. Keith Batson now in third. Poteet closing. He and Batson trying to hook up. Batson inside now. Here comes Poteet. He's up on the back bumper. Batson tries to go inside now of Dylan Poteet. But it's not going to work. Out of turn number 4. The Ford EcoBoost 400 belongs to Seth Cole. He wins at Homestead. Seth's first win, I believe, since season 10. I think season 10 was when he last won. Season 9 or 10, I don't remember, but Seth Cole gets the win here in the Castrol GTX Cup Series in the final race of the season, salvaging what otherwise was a kind of a marginal year for him. But boy, had to hold off the challenge of both Dylan Poteet and Keith Batson, a couple of real hungry drivers. Average speed 141.362. The season ends here. Poteet, I tell you, if it had been one more lap, he and Batson would have made a run for it, no question. That was close. But I say Seth Cole had to thank Chris Thornton, pretty much, or he or Ian Dutta, whichever. Poteet was second. Keith Batson was third. Fourth was Cole Daly. Fifth was Joshua Collard. Good run for him to close out the season. Charlie Rodriguez in 6th position. 7th, Kyle Matthews. 8th, Jordan Newman. 9th, Austin Telley. 10th was Joshua Osborne. 11th position goes to Zachary Fitzwater. Jeremy Newby 12th. 13th was Brian Judge. 14th, Trent Dunham. William Duncan finishes 5th. And I believe Jessica Shelton, she comes in 16th position in the race, and I believe she will be the first 2-time champion in this series, and I believe the first to go back-to-back, too. Really not sure. But I think she is the first to go back-to-back, as well as the first to win 2 in a row. The first to win 2 in the series. Arnold Columbia was 17th. 18th was Mike Becker. 19th was Zed Weinstein. 20th was Charles Jackson. Grant Thomas was 21st. Preston Florida. It's still an impressive year, though, for him. 22nd in the race, though. Kyle Sosnowski, Dylan Young, Ann Batson, Darian Taylor, Henrietta Fitzwater, Johnny Gardner, 28th. Joshua Balkin and Michael Norman close out the top 30. Boy, the lap cars really get shuffled the field, that's for sure. Keb Shear was 31st on the lead lap. Dalton Day, 32nd. 33rd, Brody Talley. And the heartbreaker for Dalton Day, he had a good run in the early going in this race. Sean Galligan, 34th, fell off in the last part of the season. It looked like he had the championship wrapped up, too. Chris Thornton, 35th in the race. Ian Dutta, 36th. Cars out of the race. P.J. Williams and Stephanie Naylor, 37th and 38th in the race. So there's your final points here. Jessica Shelton is indeed the first 2-time Castrol GTX Cup Series champion. So history has been made in this series, and the other one who was trying to go for his second in a row, Dylan Poteet, ends up finishing second in the points chase by 39 points. The margin here this season. Preston Plord will finish third in the season, and he will be the season 12 Rookie of the Year in the Castrol GTX Cup Series. So Preston Plord with the third place finish is the highest finishing rookie, and is named Rookie of the Year. Sean Galligan was fourth in points. Here, still a good season for him and Yoshi. Trent Dunham, his comeback year, finishes in 5th position, holding off the challenge of Kyle Matthews for the top 5 spot. Keith Batson comes home 7th. 8th was Johnny Gardner. 9th, Arnold Columbia. And 10th position was Darian Taylor, holding off Brian Judge for the number 10 position. William Duncan will finish 12th in points. Joshua Osborne, 13th. A good season for him. Henrietta Fitzwater, 14th. Dylan Young, 15th. 16th was Jeremy Doobie. Charlie Rodriguez in 17th in the points. Mayonnaise. Charles Jackson in 18th. 19th, Austin Tellian. 20th was Jordan Newman. And out of the drivers who's won this season, actually had a tie for most wins this season. 3 in the form of Jessica Shelton and Dylan Poteet, both with 3 wins this season. Preston Plord and Trent Dunham each have 1 win. Kyle Matthews has 2 at Sonoma and 5 Flags. Johnny Gardner with a win. Darian Taylor and Brian Judge both with a win. Joshua Osborne with a win. Henrietta Fitzwater has 2 wins. Dylan Young with 1 win. Jeremy Doobie has 2, I should say. Jeremy Doobie has 2 this season. I'll look and see what his second win was. I thought he had just 1, but he has 2 actually. He had 2 this season. Austin Telly has a win that came into the first Pocono event. And Jordan Newman with the win of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Rest of the finishing order in the points, Zed Weinstein was 21st after being top 20 for most of the year. He went winless, sadly for him. Grant Thomas with a win in the 500-mile at Charlotte. He finishes 22nd. Two-time winner Zachary Fitzwater was 23rd. I forgot where Zachary won his second race. Joshua Balkin has 2 wins this season. We know 1 came at Riverside. Cole Daly, a 25th place finish in the points this season. A bad season for him after being one of the points contenders for the championship last season. 26 was Joshua Collard. Good run for him to finish off the season, though, but still a disappointing season for him. But you know he'll try again next season. PJ Williams was 27th. 28th was Kyle Sosnowski. Seth Cole's win moved him up to 29th in a points chase after being in the 30s all season long. Stephanie Naylor was 30th after her win at the Pure Michigan 400 at Michigan. She still had 14 top 10s despite finishing 30th in the standings. Seth Cole had 7 top 10s. He had a win, of course, to close out the season at Homestead. Brody Talley was 31st in the standings. 32nd was Ian Dutta with a win at Martinsville. Chris Dalton 33rd, matching his car number in the points chase. Dalton Day 34th. He'd probably like to go to another team next season, if not for the fact that it's Matt Kenseth's number 20 he'd be dumping. He did have a win. Dalton Day did, winning at Michigan, the first Michigan race. Mike Becker has 2 wins at Talladega and Dover. Ann Batson had 2 wins at New Hampshire and also at the Brickyard 400. She was 36th in points. A disappointing year for her, even though she had the only 2 wins from a Batson. Michael Norman 37th and Keb Shearer was last in the points chase. But the champion season for Jessica Shelton: 4 poles, 3 wins, 9 top 5s, 13 top 10s, 1 less than what Poteet had at 14. But the difference, Shelton had 1 less DNF, 5-6. So, but almost every driver came in the top 10 had 10 or more top 10 and finishes. Poteet led them all. Poteet led them all in top 10s at 14 top 10 finishes. Jessica Shelton and Dylan Poteet shared the most top 5s with 9 and most wins at 3. So almost even seasons. But still, as we said, the points count though 4301 to 4262. So like I said, 39 points separated the top 2 finishers in the points chase. So we predicted it was going to be a good points finish down to the end at Homestead. We was not lying. But history has been made. The first 2-time champion of the Castrol GTX Cup Series, Jessica Shelton, 2 in a row for her. And you know she'll be back with that number 9 Coors Light car to challenge for it again next season. So, a great season ahead is behind us, and we hope for another good one this season, for next season, for season 13, for the Castrol GTX Cup Series. And we will see you at Speedweeks at Daytona for that season, and we may go to another series, though, before that, though. I'm still thinking of a Busch Grand National Series for this first season, so keep your eyes peeled on that, but for now on, we say so long till next season.